Hello, I am your host Joseph, and welcome to Let's Talk Marvel. Today we're going to be talking about my theory about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man coming to the MCU via the Disney Plus show WandaVision. Now if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We upload weekly, so make sure you never miss one. Quick spoiler alert if you're not up to date with WandaVision, which if you're not up to date, then what are you doing? Why are you here? Go and watch it now, and then come back here so you don't miss out on this huge, maybe true theory. So with it's been 5 episodes in, WandaVision has really surprised not just me but probably all Marvel fans. With its slow start in the first 2 episodes, fans were starting to worry that maybe Marvel weren't ready to make a Netflix style series to tie in with the MCU, while other fans loved it from the very start. But no matter what bag you were in from the start, now you probably have your face pressed up against your TV every Friday to watch the new episode. I don't think anyone could have predicted this show would be the highest rated MCU product of all time. Now, the ending of episode 5 left us on a real cliffhanger. The announcement that Pietro is alive, but not our Pietro, one from a different universe, the guy who played Quicksilver in the X-Men. Well, yes, but actually no. I think the reason that we have this version of Quicksilver is because the X-Men Days of Future Past, which is a great movie, might I just say, is set in the 80s, and episode 5 takes place in which decade? You guessed it, the 80s. Now this may be a little confusing to some people, as this entire series is quite confusing in itself. But each episode, excluding episode 4, has aged a decade. So episode 1 being set in the 50s, number 2 in the 60s, 3 in the 70s, and number 4 being in the 80s. And this is why I think we have Evan Peters playing Pietro and not Aaron Taylor. So this is why I think we have Evan Peters playing Pietro and not Aaron Taylor, who played Pietro in Avengers Age of Ultron. Now before I get on to the Spider-Man theory, I just want to let you guys know that I was not surprised by this cameo of Evan Peters, as he was in the cast for the show, so I expected to see him somewhere. And I thought maybe it would be in the 80s episode because of Future Past being set in the 80s. So going into the next episode, which will be in the 90s, there will probably be references to the American sitcom Friends. I think it would be hilarious to get David Lengel, aka Phil, to be in the intro, as he looks a lot like David Schwimmer, who is most famous for playing Ross from Friends. Now on to the Naughties episode, where my Spider-Man theory comes in. So from the trailers, we can see that the episode will take a model from the popular sitcom Modern Family, as it seems to have the documentary style that Modern Family takes. What else happened in the 2000s, you may ask? The Spider-Man trilogy. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy. Now don't get me wrong, this theory may be a little far-fetched, but with most of the events that happen in this show, I wouldn't be surprised to see this theory come true. So, in episode 7 of WandaVision, I think that Darcy and Jimmy are going to call in an Avenger to try and help them with the tank that they spoke about in episode 5. They're going to try and get this Avenger into the Hex. And which Avenger will this be? None other than Peter Parker himself, Spider-Man. And with the way that Far From Home ended, he may be the easiest Avenger to come in contact with, as now his identity is known to the world, so everyone knows who he is. So as we saw with Quicksilver, not being the Quicksilver we know and from the MCU, and him being Quicksilver from the 80s, I think that we may see Tom Holland change into Tobey Maguire. And this would make perfect sense. With all the rumours going around online over the past few months about seeing Tobey Maguire in the next Spider-Man movie, this would explain why Doctor Strange is going to appear in Spider-Man 3. As they're going to try and get back Peter Parker from the MCU, Tom Holland, this could also be the way that Spider-Man gets his secret identity back as well. A different Peter Parker, and he is saved having to deal with his identity. This theory would also probably make sense, as Spider-Man 3 is a film about finding the Tom Holland Spider-Man somewhere out in the multiverse. And they think that they've found him, but no, they have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And when having more than one Spider-Man in one dimension, it would probably cause the multiverse to glitch. And what would messing with the multiverse cause? Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Let me know what you guys think of this theory in the comments below, and I will see you next week for more Let's Talk Marvel.